Hi guys, my name is Anshruta Raudev. I'm the SCORA director for this term and welcome to the March meeting SCORA sessions preparatory webinar. Today with us we have two of the four SCORA men. First we have Ihab Jamal, who is the SCORA RF for the EMR, and we have George Zamandes, who is the SCORA GA or the General Assistant for this term. He's one of the two General Assistants for this term. So before we start, I'm going to talk about who are your IT members. If you already don't know them, we have Jason for the Asia Pacific, we have Ehab for the EMR, Rusa for Africa, Sohaila and Frederique for Europe, Gabriela for the Americas, and Liz is our second general assistant along with George. On the sessions team, other than these people, we have Egle, who's coming from Lithuania, and we have Laura, who's coming from ACS Catalonia. So as you know, SCORA sessions is a big deal for all of us, and we've been working for the last 2 months to get ready to bring you this amazing set of sessions with a lot of information, but in the most fun way possible, so that when you go back home, you know a lot and you have the ability to share it with everybody. So our sessions are highly outcome based, but also something that can be easily reproduced in all kinds of settings. So as you already know, we've shared the SCORA Sessions Kit with you, and the SCORA Sessions Kit has messages from all of the IT, the agenda, the documents you need, sessions description. So throughout this meeting, we are going to be going through the basic agenda that we have, some extra things like SCORA exchanges, SCORA activities fair, condom fairies, and then we're going to address your questions. So within the webinar, you can see that there are some places where you can share your questions. So if you have any questions, you can add it to the comments. And at the end of this, we're going to go through the comments. And if you have any questions, we will be answering them. In case you cannot find the comments and you feel like you still have questions, you can reach out to us, any of us on the sessions team, or even the wonderful people in this webinar, or you can find us in the SCORA Facebook group for the March meeting, or the SCORA General Facebook group, and you can post your questions there and we will answer them for you. Now we're going to start with a run through of the agenda, and Ihab is going to start with it. So Ihab, you can go.
Hi everyone, thank you, Shu. Hi everyone, my name is Ihab. I am the SCORA Regional Assistant for the EMR. And in this webinar, we decided that we will go this way. So first of all, we will start about discussing all of the agenda for SCORA for all the 5 days of the March meeting, with going into the details of the sessions of each single day, from day 1 to day 5. And then we will discuss the SCORA exchanges, because as some of you might know, we already started our first cycle of SCORA exchanges. So it is something that will be discussed in this meeting as well, because it will be discussed in the March meeting itself. And then we will discuss what we expect you to bring with you to Egypt, because we leave very, very soon. Some of us have flights even like tomorrow. So yay, we meet each other very soon. And finally, we will discuss the concept of condom fairies, which is a concept that we have every single year in every March meeting and August meeting in IFMSA. And at the end, we will have time to answer your questions. So first of all, we will start the day 1 of our agenda. If you can see in the screen that was shared by Shu right now, in the morning, we have the standing committee sessions, our SCORA sessions. In the first day of our SCORA sessions, the first session is kind of SCORA 101. It is called Welcome to SCORA Land. In this session, we will discuss what is SCORA, what is our vision, what is our mission, who are the SCORA international team, what are the different focus areas, what are the trainings, etc., etc. It is more kind of basic, and then it gets advanced sessions so that everyone is on the same page and so that everyone is familiar with a lot of terms that we will be using throughout the meeting. The second session is a mixer, considering it is day 1 of a March meeting and we will have participants from all FMSA. So we decided to have some time for all of us to break the ice and to get to know each other, because at the end of the March meeting, you will be making a lot of friends. So this is kind of the point of the session. Afterwards, we will have 2 parallel sessions on LGBTQI+. The first parallel session is LGBTQI+ and HIV past and present. This session would kind of go through the history of HIV and its relation to men having sex with men in particular, and the LGBTQI+ community. And then it would also go into different methods that are specific to the community when it comes into the global fight against HIV. The second parallel session is LGBTQI+ and blood donation. In a lot of countries of the world, members of the LGBTQI+ community are still unable to donate blood. So in this session, we will discuss like the historic reasons for this and whether it is still relevant in today's world or not. Finally, the final SCORA session for the day would be TV under a microscope. In this session, we will discuss gender-based violence, especially when today we are discussing the topic a lot with the Me Too campaign, et cetera, et cetera. So we are going to discuss with each other why is it finally coming in under a microscope, and what can we do as future healthcare provider when it comes to combating gender-based violence in the world. Now we go to the rest of the agenda for day one. We have on that first day, we also have our theme event. So in this March meeting, if you have checked in the survival kits, we have two different theme events. The first one would be action towards global epidemics and outbreaks, hepatitis C. This will be done during day 3. But the one that will happen on day 1 is actually universal health coverage in the road to 2030. This will be planned with IFMSA, with a lot of speakers from UHC 2030 and other global institutions. So make sure to not miss the theme event. Finally, we will have our regional session. Our regional session is when we are divided from the regions that we belong. So we have a session for Europe, a session for Asia Pacific, a session for Africa, a session for the EMR, and a session for the Americas. In this first day of regional sessions in all regions, we will have standing committee specific sessions. In these standing committee specific sessions, you will be working with other SCORA members from your region. The exact details of what will be discussed in each different regional session, you can find them in the survival kit. When you go down to the survival kit, there is the agenda for each standing committee specific SCORA regional session. So that's it for day 1, and we go to George for day 2. George, you are muted.
I'm sorry. Welcome everyone. Hello, I'm George. I hope you are all excited for for Egypt. So, the day 2 after with our breakfast, we start with a multi-themed session. It's called Living Library. Lots of sexual and reproductive health issues discussed all around the room with lots of facilitators. The topics you'll be able to see will be circumcision, masturbation, dysmenorrhea, chemsex, dyspareunia, organs, the sex positive approach, gender the sex positive approach, and surgery. After that, this session will be conducted in all over the room, so you'll go around and see all these topics and have a taste and discuss things, and then at the end asking questions to the facilitators. After that, we'll have a second, sorry. After that, we'll have a parallel session. The first one is fetal alcohol syndrome. It's a session in order to raise awareness regarding the consumption of alcohol in during pregnancy, in order and to show what are the problems regarding that and how to avoid it. And then the second one is pregnancy in refugee state. Another issue very important, and what are the health problems there, what are the difficulties the pregnant face. At the end, we have an external update. Are we alone? Are we talking with others? What are we doing? So, and in order to catch up on the externals and what we gained from them, and to know the externals as well. That's all from the SCORA session regarding the second day. After that, don't miss the next Crossley presentations, because there are activities from all over the world, and they in order to get ideas to bring back to your NMOs. And after that, there are the training session, a great capacity building opportunity. Choose depending on your needs and your NMO needs, or you can go to the plenary and watch it, because it's also very important, and interesting. That's all from the day 2, and let's go to day 3.
Okay, so I will be talking to you about day three. So in the morning for day three, you have again the SCORA sessions. So day three is kind of a unique day for us because for the first time we will be having a session on financial management and fundraising for local activities. This is going to be an interesting session, which is going to be facilitated by George, our wonderful GA, as well as Amela, and they're going to be talking about the different ways in which SCORA activities can be funded, how to fundraise, how to manage the funds that you receive, etc. After that, we have something called as the program sessions, which is another novel concept. The program session is basically going to be for the four standing committees of SCOF, SCORA, SCOMI, and SCORP. And in these sessions, the sessions are divided into two aspects. The first aspect is going to be how to do an activity and evaluation. And the second aspect is going to be topics that are multi-themed, which means that they have components of all four standing committees. And this will give all participants a chance to attend topics that they're interested in but are not necessarily a part of their standing committee, which will help you make friends in other standing committees as well as bring you wonderful ideas. So out of the 6 stream sessions that will be happening, 3 pertain to SCORA in some way or another. The first one is human trafficking, including organs. The second one is sexual and reproductive health in disaster and post-disaster settings. And the third one is climate change and communicable diseases. After the program sessions are done, you have something called as policy document discussions. So as most of you know, or some of you don't know, this is something you should know, is that IFMSA has something known as policy statements, which basically means the stand that IFMSA has on certain issues. All policies are valid for a period of 3 years, after which they are either renewed, new ones are instituted, or they are they are not renewed anymore, depending on how valid they are. So in this time, you have about 45 minutes to sit, 1 hour 15 minutes. Sorry, I'm bad with maths. You have time to look at all the policies that have been proposed, and if you have any suggestions, you can go and speak to the policy proposers. On behalf of SCORA, we have gender equity, which is being proposed by the LRA and the small working group that has worked quite hard to discuss the same. So you can read through the policy, and if you have any inputs or feedback, you can do so during the policy documents discussion session. After this, we have something called as joint sessions, which are basically between 2 or more standing committees, and they address topics that are relevant to both of them. So the SCORA SCORP joint session that we're going to have is called Medical Approach for Intersex Individuals. This is going to be a very theoretical and yet practical session, which will talk about the medical approach towards intersex individuals from a young age to eventually the surgical procedure that they require for assigning themselves a gender. And the second one is AMR in STIs, which is basically antimicrobial resistance and its effect not only on HIV but also within STIs. This is a session that we're going to be having with SCOF. So these are the 2 interesting sessions that we have on day 3. Other than this, we have the theme event, which Ehab already spoke to you about, and then we have the EB debate. So as some of you know, that in the March meeting, we elect the IFMSA EB for the next term, and the EB debate is the time in which all of the EB members will sit, EB candidates will sit together, and each of people from different NMOs can ask them questions, which will be answered. So it's a rather interesting thing for new members to see, after which we have a plenary, and then we move on to day 4.
Okay, so for day 4, things are a little bit different than day 1, 2, and 3 because our sessions are not in the morning, they're actually in the evening. So in the morning, we have the activities fair and the regional sessions, and then we have our SCORA sessions from 2 to 5. In day 4, we have our SCORA activities fair. So the SCORA activities fair is actually when we all get together to present different activities from our NMOs. The way it is done is that each NMO has like 1 or 2 spots for their activities based on like how much did they ask for in the form, and then we just walk around just like it's a fair, and we see all of the great things that are done. This is very important for two different reasons. One, it is an amazing opportunity for you to present the work that you have been doing in SCORA in your own NMO, which is a great platform that you have within the SCORA Activities Fair. And two, it is also an opportunity to learn about what other people are doing in their NMOs and maybe get inspired by the work they are doing and bring that work back home. So for the SCORA Activities Fair, if you want to present, and I believe each NMO present in SCORA should at least present one of the great activities they're doing, there is a form that has been shared with you in the Facebook group, and it has also been shared with you in the SCORA server. The deadline to fill in that form is 28th of February. So you still have a week to fill the form and present an activity in the SCORA Activities Fair. Then the second session of the day would be access to contraception. As you might know that access to contraception is one of the pillars of sexual reproductive health rights. It is strictly linked to the power of women of choosing when and if and how often do they have children, access to information, etc., etc. In this session, we will try to cover all of these topics, and we will try to cover like when is contraceptive available, when it is not available, and to advocate for this important topic in your country when you go home. So this is it for day 4, and then finally the final day with George.
And everything that is good has an end, so does the GA and SCORA sessions, but it's no time for tears. So we'll start with a parallel session regarding the postpartum depression and PMS. Postpartum depression is an often unrecognized serious mood disorder that can affect women after pregnancy. So they will be discussed on if we consider it as a mental illness or not, how if it can be avoided or not, and how can we get away with the stigma on it. Then the PMS is about in order to make menstruation non-stigmatized. It is non-stigmatized topic. Many women suffer from that syndrome that causes both physical and mental complaints. So they will be learn more on that during the session and discuss and give some food for thought. Then we'll have SCORA exchanges. As you have noticed, the first circle opens starts in March. So the SCORA angels that are having the SCORA exchange will be able to present the exchanges. We are like that we have exchanges from all over the regions, and also so you can go wherever you want, all over the world, and also there will be a Q&A. Then we have also a parallel session. The first one is advocacy on a local level, and then how to CSC. Regarding the advocacy on local level, we are talking as core angels. We are talking a lot about things such as stigma, fight against this, do something about that, and all this. So we want, in order to be sufficient, we want to have a good way to do it. So how to do it in a local level? We learn the tips. I won't tell you now. You'll see it at the session, and then we have them how to CSC. Do you know what CSC? If not, that's the time. If yes, are you sure that you know everything about CSC and how to do it and how to plan an activity regarding comprehensive sexual education? Here is the time to know it. Then you may be hungry, and so it's the lunchtime, so you'll go and eat. And after that, after that, it's the second part of the SCORA session. There will be two parts in the last day. So we'll have a wrap up. What we learned all these days, what we saw, and I mean an evaluation regarding all the sessions. But not only that, we will also discuss about how to implement what you think, what you learn in your NMO. You learn something in the GA. Becoming a delegate in a GA is not just going to Egypt and learn things. It's also coming back and give it back to your NMOs and act. That's what are we trying to do as co-agents, as future healthcare providers. Also, we'll present you as SCORA IT the plans for the next half of the term. So there will also be a Q&A regarding that, and then we'll check out and have a photograph all together as SCORA Angels. So don't forget to wear your red shirts and your beautiful faces.
Thank you so much, George. That was a wonderful description. But he's not wrong, guys. You do need to bring your red t-shirt and do not wear it on any other day except the last day because we're going to do a picture together. In case you do not have a SCORA t-shirt, you can bring any red t-shirt and we're sure by the end of this meeting, you will end up with a SCORA t-shirt. So with this, now I'm going to talk to you again about the SCORA exchanges. So if you are already a part of the SCORA Facebook group or the SCORA email server, you may have noticed that we open call for SCORA exchange hosts. So for those of you who don't know, what are SCORA exchanges? SCORA exchanges are 3 to 4 weeks of exchanges in another country, which talks about a variety of SCORA topics with lectures, practical sessions, demonstrations, and hands-on experience. And it's a really interesting way to learn more about SCORA situations and other topics that are either similar to yours or absolutely different from yours. But at the end, it's a wonderful experience, and it has been happening for a couple of years. And for the first time in a very long time, we've received a huge number of applications, and we have at least one host from each region. So this time you have a huge variety. You can decide to go to the Americas, or you can decide to go to the Asia Pacific, or you can decide whether you want to go to the Americas, the EMR, the Africas, wherever. And because you have so many choices and because you're spoiled for choices, in the SCORA exchanges session that we will have at the March meeting, we're going to be requesting the SCORA exchange host to do a small presentation that you can record, that you can bring questions to, and you can ask your questions to them, so that not just those angels that are attending the March meeting, but even those back at home can send either us their questions, or they can send those questions to with your NMO members, so that you know exactly the procedure for applying for an exchange, the dates for the exchange, the cost, what are your best choices. The second part of this SCORA exchange sessions is something that we call amending our SCORA regulations. So again, if you've been following us for the last month, you may have seen that we sent out a call for amendments for SCORA exchanges, and we've received some of them. And in the second half of the session, we will be discussing the amendments, and then we will decide whether or not we adopt them into our regulation. So if you haven't done a SCORA exchange and you want to go as a participant, you should attend the session. If you've been as a participant and you want to host a SCORA exchange in your country, then you should attend the session. And if you just love SCORA so much and you cannot think of missing a session, then you should bloody well attend the session. So now Ehab is going to talk to you a little more about what you're supposed to bring and what you're expected to bring for the SCORA session.
Okay, thank you, Shru. So like Shru and George already emphasized in this meeting, please bring your SCORA t-shirts. If you don't have SCORA t-shirts for any reason, bring a red t-shirt, because at least for the last day, we would love to take our very big, beautiful red picture, all of us together. A part of that, make sure to bring some promo material, especially if you're presenting something in the activities fair, just to show them like maybe flyers or something, or a poster about the work that you have been doing as SCORA in your NMO. Make sure to bring the condoms. Afterwards, George will discuss this a little bit further. Also, we have decided that this year we want to learn more about all the beautiful energizers that you have in different NMOs. So please make sure to think of an energizer or two from your country, because we will be asking you to do the energizers, because we really like do the same things all over and again. So this time we want to like spice it up and have different energizers from different NMOs. Make sure to also bring some your computer, your tablet, your notebook, something to take notes on. Like you have seen in the agenda, we will be discussing a lot of things. So it is essential to keep some notes, even though we will be sending you a follow-up kit. But there are no better notes than the one you take yourself. And finally, make sure to have an open mind, be happy, bring a lot of positive energy. SCORA has always been a safe space in IFMSA, so we are really counting that you all feel very, very comfortable. At any time, if you want to talk to any of us of the sessions team, if you want to have any comment, we are there for you. We are very, very, very friendly people. So do not hesitate to approach any one of us. And that's it. Oh, yeah. You also, I mean, if you want, you could also bring gifts and free stuff. I mean, we all appreciate gifts and free stuff. So I do, for example, and I know Shru does as well. So make sure to bring a few gifts from your country if you want to. So that's it. And George will be discussing the condoms fairies.
Okay. Sorry for laughing. The last one was very good. Anyways, previously the SCORA is a very safe place, but also promotes safety. If you check the agenda, you'll see where the NFDP is. So it's in the last day. Okay, if you ever have attended an international meeting, you may notice that in the NFDP, things may get a bit crazy. Okay, it's happening. So we should promote safety regarding that. How can we do that as courageous? With condom fairies. What are they? So, as you have said, bring the condoms from your country, and if you want, you'll be a condom fairy in the NFDP, and distribute it to everyone in order to promote safety. Okay, of course you won't be all the time condom fairy. You'll have you'll have fun. Don't worry about that. So, and also we during the NFDP as condom fairies we may not only just distribute condoms and also show how the condom is correctly put, because it's very important to use condom correctly. Otherwise, it's no use. So you'll have our mind. So bring your condoms, bring your spicy face, and let's be condom fairies.
Thank you so much, George. So, guys, just to reiterate what George said is that we're going to have a condom competition where whichever country gets the most condoms will get something cute from us. And then as condom fairies, you will be distributing these condoms throughout the duration of the March meeting. So don't forget to get condoms. Before we finish, I'd like to talk about something else. For all IFMSA meetings, we have something known as the Code of Conduct. When you go in for your registration at the March meeting, you will be asked to sign it. And I would sincerely request all of you to read what it says. It has quite a few points that you think are just stupid, but they're really, really important to us. And we would like you to follow them, some of which are, of course, to respect each other in terms of your origins, your cultural backgrounds, your religion, etc. Do not force or coerce anybody to try something that they do not want to try. Please do not damage the hotel property or any property that belongs to the venue. So please, 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 you will find that the code of conduct is also available in the SCORA sessions kit, which has been sent on email and which is on the SCORA Facebook group, and it is also on the SCORA March meeting sessions group. If you're still not a member for it, you can contact us directly, or we've also placed a link for it in the SCORA Facebook group, so you can find it there as well. But please do go through the code of conduct once before the March meeting so you know what you're in for. That's before you sign anything. Check before you sign anything. So that's the first thing. Another thing that I want to tell you is that for the March meeting this time, we have a huge number of participants. We have more than 100 participants, which is a lot for SCORA sessions. I mean, we're super excited to have so many of you with us. But for a new SCORA angel who's coming for his or her first March meeting, let's be gender inclusive, it's going to be daunting. It's going to be difficult because there are going to be some people who've been for like a number of GAs and they know everything and they know everybody. But guess what? there is no wrong question in SCORA. There is no dumb question in SCORA. There is nothing that you cannot ask us to repeat. So throughout SCORA sessions, we want you to be as uninhibited as possible. Ask questions because that makes us happy. That makes us think you're listening to us. Ask us to repeat things because that means, again, you're listening to us. And we're going to repeat all of this even during SCORA sessions. But when you come to SCORA, as Ehab and George have already said, it's a place where we don't judge. We just love. So do not ever keep any regrets or any thoughts that maybe I should have said this, maybe I should have asked this. Another thing is also that in a lot of times, in most of our sessions, we like to promote discussions, and discussions come when you talk to us. So that includes talking to us about your local settings, about what happens in your country in regards to SCORA issues. So it would be really awesome if you can brush up on all of the SCORA issues that happen in your country. So when we're talking about it, you can tell us what happens in your country, and we can learn from you, and others can learn from you, and we can all learn from each other, which is the basic purpose of the SCORA sessions. And other than that, if you have any doubts, unfortunately, I don't see any questions being posted by anybody. Thank you for the hearts and kisses, guys. We appreciate it. We love you as well. But I don't see any questions. However, at any point through the next week, that before we meet or even during the meeting, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. The SCORA Facebook group is for all of us to talk. So what we would love for you guys to do is tell us what's happening with you. Like, are you excited? Are you having fun? So like Ehab said, I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, and I'm going to start documenting my journey to meet all of you amazing angels. And so is the sessions team. So if you want to already be our friends before the meeting, if you want us to come and give you a hug and be like, oh, how was that journey? We need to know who you are. So we need you to share your journey with us and let us know how you feel. We also have a teeny tiny surprise for you. It's something that we've recently discussed, but we will be telling you about it in the SCORA sessions because there has to be a secret now, doesn't it? So we're going to be talking to you about it super, super soon. And we are really, really excited. And we've been working very hard to make this an unforgettable experience for you. And we hope it materializes to be that. But till then, we are always here for you. So if you have anything you want to tell us, if there's anything you want to know more about sessions, anything at all, or if you just want to say hi, you can reach out to any of us. I'm quickly going to show you the faces of the SCORA sessions team, just in case you're like, who's this person? Just give me a minute. Oh, oops, sorry, I closed the window. So I'm going to share it with you on the Facebook group so that you can see them later. But thank you so much for joining us. Ehab and George, do you want to give them your last messages?
From me, I really can't wait to see you all in Egypt. Don't fear me because I have a beard. I'm super friendly. I can't wait to see you all, to meet you all, to hear your questions, what you are thinking about everything. I really can't wait for that because that's what I wanted when I was in my first GA and to have as a participant from the session team. So that's what I want to offer to all participants that have made a huge journey to come and to join our session. It's really an honor to think about that someone had to see the sessions that I've worked on has done a lot of miles to come.
Okay, I won't be redundant, so just to repeat what they said really fast, it's just, even if this is your first GA, it should not be a barrier. Language should not be a barrier. There will be so many people who could help you and translate to you. We're a very, very diversified sessions team. So you can just ask us and we will help you with translations. And like he said, I mean, he is very friendly despite his beard. I am very friendly despite I would never have a beard. And we're all very, very friendly. So just do not hesitate to reach out to all of us. So that's it. And I can't wait to see you, all of you, soon.
Thank you, Ehab and George, for joining this wonderful meeting. If you guys have realized, we're a fun bunch. I mean, I know it's kind of sad that I'm saying it, but we are. And we cannot wait to have jokes with you and have time, spend time with you. So, without pulling this on for too long, really excited to see you. And the next time we see you, we're going to be the entire session team together. So, see you super soon. Bye bye.